Hey everyone, welcome to Cooking with Colby. Today I'm going to show you how to make pickled carrots and daikon. This is a super easy recipe that's ready in 30 minutes and it can be stored in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. What I love about this recipe and pickling in general is that it's highly customizable and you can get really creative with it. In this recipe, for example, you can add in a bit more vinegar if you want some more tang, you can add in a little extra sugar if you want some more sweetness, you could even add in some chili flakes if you want some spice. Feel free to switch it up with the types of vegetables you add in. For example, you could throw in some onions or garlic, even some beets or cucumbers if you'd like. This is a wonderful recipe that I like to put on sandwiches or burgers. You can put it in salads, and you can even throw it into a sauté if you like at the last minute for a little hint of tang. I'm excited to share it with you today, so let's get to it. Right here, I have my carrot. I'll just be using one today. And this here is my daikon radish. You can see that I've already been enjoying it a little bit. Normally daikons come about this long. And if you've never had one before, they're very similar to red radishes, but a little less spicy. So they soak up the brine really nicely, and they're great to add to other recipes. To start, we're gonna slice our carrot. Cut off just the ends right here. And then we're gonna cut them into little matchsticks. We want them a few inches long maybe, depending on what you're using them for. So I'm gonna cut my carrot into quarters. I'm gonna cut it in half here, and then lengthwise, so they resemble the size or the thickness of a chopstick about. I'm gonna put them right here in my bowl and do it for the rest of the carrot. Now that my carrot is done, I'm gonna move on to my daikon. Since I'm not gonna use the entirety of the daikon, I'm gonna cut it into discs and then cut those discs into little matchsticks, just like this. Next, we're gonna add a bit of salt. Doesn't need to be exact here. And a little bit of sugar as well. We're gonna give our daikon and our carrots a nice little massage. You don't want to massage too hard because we don't want to break these, but you can see it as I start, it's covered in a bit of a crystallized salt sugar mixture. And the more I mix it, the more wet it's going to get. If you don't want to do the active massaging part, you can also just let this sit in the sugar and salt for 10-ish minutes. You'll know it's done when there's a pool of water at the bottom. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. After a few minutes of massaging, this is the pool of water that you want to look for. We're gonna put our vegetables into a strainer, give them a little rinse, and let them strain while we prepare our brine. For the brine, we're going to use a 1:1:1 ratio of sugar, water, and vinegar. So I'll use a half cup today. We're going to pour 1/2 cup of sugar into this bowl. Followed by 1/2 cup of water. Followed by 1/2 cup of white vinegar. You can also use rice vinegar, apple cider vinegar, red wine vinegar, any sort of vinegar works, and each one will have a unique flavor profile that will change the outcome of your pickles. Like I said at the beginning, if you want a sweeter brine, add a little more sugar. If you want a less sweet brine, less sugar. For a more tangy brine, add extra vinegar. And if you want to make it a little spicy, you can throw in some red pepper chili flakes. We're going to whisk this up until we can't see any more of the sugar and it's all dissolved. Put your carrots and your daikon, now that they're strained, into a jar. Then pour the brine over the top. and seal your jar. These will be ready to eat in 30 minutes, or you can pop them in the fridge and they'll last in the fridge for 2 weeks. I hope you enjoyed today's video and you make some tasty recipes out of these pickled daikons and carrots. You can always eat them by themselves too. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time on Cooking with Colby, a Food for People production.